Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here. My name is Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet certified trainer in Tempe, Arizona for Dynamic Worldwide Training Consultants, and I record these videos for my students. Yeah, so in our last few videos, we're talking about load balancing our WAN traffic. And we did the traditional primary backup link. We also looked at some equal cost multipath load balancing algorithms. We even went out of our way and created an SD-WAN lab. All right, so what that means is that we use these net term boxes here that we can adjust and tweak our traffic for our simulated WAN links. Which brings us to our next one, which is migrating what we already have in the FortiGate to an SD-WAN solution. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you have a FortiGate out of the box and you're about to implement it into your production network, okay, there is really no excuse not to use the SD-WAN features, even if you only have one interface that's a WAN facing link. So because essentially once you create that logical SD-WAN interface, you can throw as many circuits as you want at it, okay? The real tricky part is when you already have something in place, all right, and you want to migrate to an SD-WAN solution. Now, the lab environment that I have here is actually the one that I was using in my NSE for studying impromptu lab. And we already have our WAN configured in a zone with the static routes, with our link monitors, and everything's already in place, okay? And for us just to go to an SD-WAN solution, that's gonna take some time. So in other words, it's gonna take some planning, some maintenance windows, some rollback windows, right? But of course, we're in a lab environment, ha ha ha. So I'm gonna wing it. So that's my goal for this video here, is simply just to get the SD-WAN in our FortiGate and to switch over from our old WAN solution. And the last video that I'll do, probably not tonight because it's already getting close to midnight here, is to explore the different SD-WAN rules. Now, the whole point of this set of videos was not SD-WAN rules. All right, so that's going to have to be something later on. There's way too much to it, but at least we can get a look at it. All right, so because I did get a request for this from one of my past participants. So anyways, let me take a deep yawn. Woohoo! And let's go ahead and do this. So let's log into our FortiGate right now and see what we have already going for us. All right, so here's our Windows machine. And let me just load up a web browser here and get to the FortiGate. All right, so 10, there we go. 10, 10, 1, 2, 5, 4. There we go. And I can use my LDAP credentials. Woohoo! All right, 2 woohoos. Okay. Getting a little loopy, guys. It's a little bit late. It's been a long day, but I need to get these videos wrapped up. So, all right, so here we go. We got our FortiGate. It's up. It's running. Everything looks good. All right, and if we go to our network, you'll see here underneath our interfaces that we have our port 1 and port 2 labeled primary and backup WAN. All right, so and they are zoned together, and the whole idea of using a zone is to simply combine these two interfaces into a like security profile. All right, in other words, they have identical security goals. So when we're writing our, wait for it, our IP4 policies, instead of having all these redundant policies, we can simply just say, hey, LAN going out to the WAN zone, let it happen, and we don't need to write twice as many firewall policies for the exact same goal. So that's really the beauty of zones, is that it's going to simplify management and also the complexity of our firewall rules, because believe it or not, guys, in my personal opinion, that's where we start screwing up as security professionals, is when things get too complex, and that's when things get sloppy. All right, so try to keep things simple, meaning use as few moving parts or as little configuration as you can to accomplish the same kind of security goals. All right, not saying simple as in lack of security. So, all right, so here's the thing. All right, if we go to our network now and we see SD-WAN here, we'll see that it's turned off. Okay, now if you don't see this here, what you can do is that you can go over to your system and go over to feature visibility and just make sure that the SD-WAN solution is selected, which is turned on. Alright, so that's all you need to do to see it. And all FortiGates support it, as long as you're running the newer versions of FortiOS, and the older versions, like with 5.4, is called the WAN Link Load Balancer. In fact, you can find a couple of examples on my playlist there. So, but here we go. So as long as we as long as we see that there, we can go over to network now and go to SD-WAN, and let's go ahead and enable it. And now, as you can see, we have our SDWAN interface members, and that's the whole point here, guys. We're going to throw interfaces at this, and it's going to abstract the difficulty of redundancy, failover, and you're going to see here in the next video we can do some really cool rules. Alright, so but let's go ahead and add our interfaces, and as you can see here, we have a problem. Ports 1 and 2, are they there? No, they are not. So here's your first catch. Alright, here's the first caveat. If the interfaces you want to drop in the SD-WAN are in use, you cannot add them to the SD-WAN. So if the interfaces on the FortiGate are already being referenced either by routes or by firewall rules or by NATing rules, you can't do it. So where do we start with the migration process here? So I'm going to challenge myself, just because, you know, I don't have a life, and this is what I guess admins do by themselves in the middle of the night, is I'm going to pull up a command prompt here. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to put a loop. I'm going to just ping out to Google here, -T. And I'm going to try not to drop a single packet while I'm doing this. Alright, so, but obviously in the real world you'll have a plan. You'll test things out, you'll roll it out through a maintenance window, whatever. So the first place that we want to start, though, is that we want to come to interfaces. Alright, and down here you'll see that port 1 and port 2 are being referenced 3 times. Alright, we need to have that as 0 in order to drop it into our SD-WAN solution. Now, we have a primary and we have a backup, and that's fortunate, and right now it is participating in the equal cost multipath from our last example. So the very first thing I'm going to do after I check the 3 here is I am going to remove our link monitor that we had on these 2 connections. Why? We don't need it anymore, and you're going to see that here because our performance SLAs is the link monitor, just a GUI, more advanced version of it. So I'm going to pop out my terminal here, and I'm going to do a config system link monitor, and if I do a show, you'll see that we have 2 of them. I'm simply going to delete WAN 1 and then also delete WAN 2 and then do an end to commits. Alright, because the last thing I want is for, you know, links to start dropping and stuff like that. So alright, so that is done. And oops, let me go ahead and hit refresh here. Okay, so, and now that I've taken off the link monitors, look what happened. Our 3 went down to 2. Now you can select this number and it'll pop over here and say, hey, you have a static route and you also have a system zone that's referencing this. And if we hit the one over here, you'll see that it's in Firewall Policy 1. Now we don't want to lose internet connectivity. And let me check my ping status here. Alright, so things are still good. So I'm going to remove port 2 from the zone, and it's going to be the first one that I drop into the SD-WAN. Okay, so that way our primary stays up and we don't lose connectivity. So let's go ahead and do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is come to static routes. Alright, I'm going to find my backup WAN and I'm going to delete that static route. Now that that's deleted, I should be able to go up to interfaces now and remove it from the zone. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to come here, I'm going to hit edit, see the members, I'm going to remove WAN 2, and it was able to do it. And I'm actually going to take the opportunity right now, just for kicks, just for giggles. I don't really need that as in backup WAN, I'm just going to simply say WAN 2 for my alias. Okay, and there you guys go. We've now removed it from our port 1 and also from our WAN zone. And if you notice, it did not affect our connectivity at all. All right, so all right, now we can actually do the SD-WAN. So let's go over to the SD-WAN, let's enable it, and we're going to drop what? Oh, look at that, WAN 2. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is tell it where the next hop is. All right, so this is what's going to kind of be like, you know, on the other side of our whatever's terminating our connection. So here we go. But in our lab environment, that was, come on, numlock. That was 2.254. All right, and we hit apply, and it says it saved it successfully. And what's nice here too is that you get a usage monitor, and nothing is passing through there right now, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit apply one more time just for good luck. Anyways, and the next step we have to do is now write the static route, and that is true too. Even if you're using the SD-WAN rules, you still need that quad 0 in there. All right, so I'm going to say if you're trying to go out the internet, I need you to use what interface? Now we're going to use our SD-WAN. Okay, and we're going to hit OK. You cannot have duplicate SD-WAN and non-SD-WAN interfaces. Ooh, interesting. I did not know that. Okay, so it's not letting me do that. You cannot have duplicated routes on SD-WAN and non-SD-WAN interfaces. So let me try and change the administrative distance. Well, let me do that. Nope, it won't. You know what, guys? I did not know if that was going to work or not, and I guess it won't. So that's okay. I just don't know if I can still keep the stuff up. We might have some downtime here. I can at least write the firewall rule though, so let's do that. Let me hit cancel. Now nothing's going to happen, unfortunately, until I write the route though, but I should still be able to write a firewall policy for this. And what's nice is that you can come here and you can actually just copy and paste this bad boy right below it. All right, and as you can see, it made the identical firewall policy. It's just disabled, so I'm going to double click to edit it now. But now I'm going to say, hey, you know what, instead of going out the WAN zone, I want you to go out the SD-WAN and keep everything identical, and also enable this policy. All right, and I'm going to call this SD-WAN Internet Access. All right. So now we at least have the firewall policies that are able to push out both of them. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna. It's gonna drop, guys. I know for a fact it's gonna drop. It shouldn't have been dropping that fast though. That's probably my lab environment. Anyways, I'm gonna have to do some kind of cutover. It looks like I was hoping I could have two default routes there, and I guess I can't. So here we go. All right, we're gonna have some downtime because we're gonna have to delete that quad 0 before we can do it. So at least everything's set up, right? At least everything's ready for that cutover. So let's try it. So are you guys ready? So let's go down to our static routes, and I guess it doesn't want me to have this quad 0 here. So here we go. Are you guys ready? Oh, it makes me so nervous. All right, there we go. And now I can just simply say, okay, phew. How many packets did I drop? Oh, too many. Oh, that's horrible, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. People are calling up saying they can't get to their interwebs. Now, here's the thing about these timeouts right here, guys. This is probably just my lab environment, to be honest with you. What I really wanted was to see how many packets I dropped. 5, I think it was. But here's the beauty. Are you ready? To add that primary one in there, right? To add it into our SD-WAN, all we come in here now is just add that additional interface. And we just say, hey, where is it? Oh, that's right. I got to take it out of the zone. All right, here we go. No big deal. So we pluck this up. We hit edit. I think I edited the interface. Dang it. That's okay, because I wanted to call this WAN1 anyways. There we go. And then I also want to edit, remove it. All right, there we go. And we should now be able to delete this zone. I have to delete the firewall policy before I can delete the zone itself. But at least I can now stick that primary one into the SD-WAN, right? Give it the next hop, which will be the other side of our internet connection. There we go. Hit apply. Boom, baby. There you go. And now we have both of those connections up. All right. Now, how is it actually load balancing traffic? Well, we'll get there in just a moment. Okay. As you can see, though, did I really take out my my command prompt here? Sorry about that, guys. And if you can see here, I mean, we haven't lost any kind of connection after the fact because it's always been up and running, so which is nice. And now I'm going to take out that firewall policy that we don't need anymore. All right, so which is going to be this guy right here. So we'll go ahead and delete the policy. And now that we've deleted the policy, it's no longer being referenced. Therefore, we can delete the zone itself and clean up shop. All right, so as you guys can see, it's going to be a little bit more work than just starting out with it from the get-go. But after that, I mean, we can literally throw as many circuits as we want at this thing. And like I said, these timeouts here, guys, are probably my lab environment. So, and there you guys go. And now that SD-WAN is almost treated like an interface. Okay, so you just have to make sure that you have the static route for it. Boom. All right. And you also have the firewall policy for it. And you saw that we can just did a little copy there to make it really easy. And there you guys go. It is now using an SD-WAN solution. So I'm going to stop it right there with my video, but just to kind of keep things a little bit more clean here. If we go to our network now and we go to our SD-WAN rules, there is our load balancing algorithm that we saw in the ECMP example. So remember how we had source, we also had source destination, we had spillover, and we had weighted, which is now called sessions, but we also have this new one called volume, which I'll talk about. But here, because we have so few machines, I'm going to load balance between the source and destination IP address instead of just source. All right, so that way each connection going out will get a different interface to load balance between the two. And let's just test that out real quick before we end this video. So let's go to make internet noise. All right, and we'll make some noise. There we go. And let's just make sure that it's using both of the interfaces. All right, so we're going to come up here to our FortiView once again. And what I like about using the session table in the GUI, guys, is that you don't have to bombard your logging just to take a look at if it's distributing the traffic or use any kind of weird sniffer commands. Here we go. And if we look over here all the way, see how we have peppered throughout it, WAN 2, WAN 1, WAN 2, WAN 1, so it is load balancing between the two. And what's also nice is, like we didn't have in the ECMP example, if we go to our monitor now, and we go to SD-WAN monitor, you can see that it is up, all right? Now, you're not seeing anything here because we haven't built any link monitors for it. But if that's the case, you can always go to network. You can also go to SD-WAN itself and scroll down to look at the utilization by bandwidth, by volume, by session distribution. I mean, how cool is that, guys? So, all right, I'm going to end it right there. As you saw, we migrated from an SD-WAN solution from our zoning solution to an SD-WAN solution, dropped about 5 packets while doing so. Obviously, you know, if you're just doing this out of the box, guys, I promise you, you can do a single interface just to kind of future-proof it down the road. And then that way you can throw circuits at it, more circuits at it. You know what? In fact, why don't we do that real quick? Or should I wait till the next video? You know what? Forget it. I'm going all out on this. Are you guys ready? We're going to do port 3. because remember we had our extra connections here. All right, oops, come on, there we go. See our port 3 and our port 4. Why don't we add those just for giggles here, just to show you just how easy it is to add a WAN internet connection. So we plug it in, we give it the next hop, right? We hit apply. We go to port 4, we give it a next hop, 254. We hit apply. I mean, look at that. As these refresh itself, it should start utilizing those other connections as it goes out to different sources. So pretty darn, there it goes. See that, guys? Oh, come on, that's cool. Everyone just calm down. That is just awesome. I mean, look how easy it is. And that's the whole beauty about the SD-WAN here. Also, failover is now automatic, and you're going to see in the next video. I'll probably not do it tonight. It's too late. Maybe I will. I'm not too sure. But we're going to see here how we can write rules to point traffic specifically down certain pipes. All right? And even do some kind of SLAs there to guarantee that we pick the best connection no matter what. So hopefully someone found that helpful, especially the person who I made this for. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.